So, as I've been reading comics more often recently, I found that I've really developed a love for a lot of these characters, specifically the cosmic entities within the Marvel mainstream universe. And I've seen that a lot of them have these crazy, ridiculous, over-the-top powers. One of the more famous examples is being that of the World Devourer, Galactus. And I really developed a real love for them as time has gone on because of that, and just the amount of ridiculousness that these characters present in all the gloriousness of, well, Marvel Comics. Now, Galactus' initial origin was that of a space explorer named Galen, who gained cosmic abilities by passing near a star. But writer Mark Grunwald further developed the origin of the character, presenting Galen as alive during the previous universe that existed prior to the Big Bang, which began the current universe. Now, the origin has been shuffled around and retconned here and there, so depending on which comic series you read and from what year, you'll get a different version of Galactus and his origins, but the general idea remains the same, that originally he was a Titan named Galen. Now, it's worth mentioning that Galactus is seen as a necessary universal constant in preserving the balance of the natural universe. Galactus was created by Stan Lee and Jack Kirby and first appeared in the comic book Fantastic Four issue number 48, which was published in March 1966. Lee and Kirby wanted to introduce a character that broke away from the archetype of the standard villain. In the character's first appearance, Galactus was depicted as a godlike figure who feeds by draining living planets of the energy and operates without regard to the morality and judgments of mortal beings. It should be noted that Galactus wasn't even meant to reappear, so this way they could preserve the character's awe-inspiring presence. However, due to fan popularity, they brought him back. There are many different storylines to feature Galactus, but one of the better ones comes in the form of Fantastic Four issues number 242, 244, and later on issue number 257. In this issue, Galactus mentions that in 20 billion years, he's seen the universe blossom from nothing. He mentions that he's seen countless worlds come in and out of the domain of darkness that relates to Mistress Death. Galactus mentions that he's tired of the role that he's played for these 20 billion years, and that in part he feels responsible, if not entirely, for the deaths of countless individuals. Mistress Death recognizes that because Galactus was a human at one point, that he is still assigning human moral values to a cosmic scale that would otherwise not need for those things, that they are the shepherds that are simply weeding the garden. With this, Galactus is wiped of all doubts, and he just simply accepts that, hey, this is my role, I have to continue doing this. There's no room to debate whether or not this is right or wrong. This is simply the role that was assigned to me, whether it be by God, the universe, or some other being. This is what I'm going to have to do. Alright, so we've done enough talking, so let's get into the meat and potatoes of just how powerful Galactus is and some of his feats. Now, this is not a full comprehensive list, so just keep that in mind. This is just sort of demonstrating some of the things that Galactus is capable of. Thanos himself mentions that at his current power base level, he is no match for Galactus. However, he goes even further to say that using the Soul Gem would not affect Galactus, as he is very similar when it comes to terms of his soul as to cosmic abstracts like eternity and infinity. Galactus has equipment that allows him to convert the life essence on Earth into some sort of elemental form of energy that he can use to consume for his own survival. Now, there's levels of infinity. People like Galactus can technically do whatever they want due to things like the ultimate Nullifier, but again, it's funny with power scaling the Marvel Cosmic Universe because there's, again, levels to infinity. So in this example, Galactus is trying to talk to the Living Tribunal, and he's essentially saying, hey, look, I plead you to help me out here. I need to fix what's been done to the universe. And unfortunately, the Living Tribunal says, hey, I can't help you out with that. He's like, lift the limits that you had on the joint use of the Infinity Gems. So Galactus essentially decides that he's going to have to fix Eternity being in a catatonic state by himself. So what he does is he essentially controls Gamora to do his bidding, as if he were to do it by himself, then it would likely result in his death. During a skirmish with the Silver Surfer and Reed Richards, Galactus was threatened by Reed, who threatened to use the Ultimate Nullifier on him, one of Galactus' tools. Now, it's important to notice that the Ultimate Nullifier is just one of many tools Galactus has access to, and the Ultimate Nullifier is so powerful that it can lay waste to an entire universe. Galactus can willingly call forth the Ultimate Nullifier from anybody who's using it. It is as much a part of him as he is a part of it. The Watcher warns the Fantastic Four that should the Ultimate Nullifier be used at full power, it would wipe out the entire solar system in 1 microsecond. Not just anyone can use it either. As we can see here, its power is far too great for the Technopath drone, superseding his abilities and consuming the both of them. The reason the Ultimate Nullifier is so powerful is because it doesn't just kill the individual, it erases them from existence. Any actions, past, present, or future, are erased, as well as the results of those actions, as if the individual was never born, the beams being described as omnipotent. Galactus' word is essentially set in stone. When he says something to be, others simply accept, showing the amount of respect his name carries. During his journey, and 20 billion plus years of life, Galactus has amassed an impressive collection of creatures and gadgets, with one in particular capable of wiping out an entire armada even if they reside in another universe. Galactus' technology doesn't just end there, as he has a ship described as being as big as an entire solar system. That's big. Even with all the careful planning they do, people like Thanos admit that Galactus operates far faster than the original plans accounted for. Galactus is able to also sense their cloaked ship using its own ship's sensors. Galactus is able to use his ship to read the memories of everyone involved in the storyline of Infinity War, an experience that is described as being both devastating but enlightening to them. The technology that Galactus possesses is incredibly impressive, being beyond comprehension. Even the likes of Doctor Doom having no idea of how to use it or understand it, showing just how intelligent Galactus is. Big galaxy brain. And let me tell you, bro, you ain't getting in that ship. Look how durable this thing is. These dudes pulled out the weapon supreme and were sweating using it, worried for their own lives. That's how powerful this thing is. They had exhausted every single option they had, and this was their last resort. It was described as a universe being in chaos as the nearby planetoids were instantly hurled from their orbit, and yet the ship still remained. So this is just part 1 of what's hopefully going to be a multi-part series, as there's many different versions of Galactus. So if you enjoyed this, please make sure to like, comment, subscribe, and share this with a friend. Let me know, what was your favorite feats of Galactus, and who do you like the best?